Have you ever felt so broken that you thought you could never be whole again? Have you ever looked in the mirror and not recognized the person staring back? This is a story about that feeling. It is the story of a woman named Lisa, who found herself lost in a marriage that chipped away at her soul, piece by piece. She lived a life where the man who promised to cherish her, instead, chose to publicly humiliate her. It's a story about hitting rock bottom, but it's also a story about the incredible power we all have to rise up from the ashes. It's about finding the light when all you can see is darkness. Lisa's days were filled with a quiet, heavy sadness. She would stand by as her husband, Mark, openly flirted with other women. It happened at parties with friends, at family gatherings, and even at the local grocery store. Each glance, each laugh he shared with someone else, was like a sharp sting to her heart. She felt invisible, as if her presence meant nothing at all. She would try to smile to pretend that it did not bother her, but inside, a storm of confusion and pain was raging. She often asked herself, "Why am I not enough? What did I do wrong?" The silence in their home was deafening, filled with unspoken words and broken promises. Her spirit, once so bright and full of life, began to dim. Lisa remembered the woman she used to be, confident, joyful, and full of dreams for the future. Now she felt like a ghost in her own life, just going through the motions. The disrespect was not just in his actions, but in the emptiness of his eyes when he looked at her. It was a constant reminder that she was not his priority, that his attention was always somewhere else. She spent many nights crying into her pillow, praying for a sign, for a way out of the emotional prison she found herself in. The heartbreak was a heavy cloak she wore every single day. One evening, after another painful event, where Mark had ignored her to talk to a younger woman all night, something inside Lisa shifted. She looked at her reflection and saw the deep sadness in her own eyes. She saw the exhaustion and the defeat. In that moment, she realized that she had been waiting for him to change, for him to see her worth. But the truth was, she had to see her own worth first. She understood that she could not control his actions, but she could control her own. A tiny spark of determination ignited within her, a promise to herself that she deserved more. She deserved respect, love, and happiness. This was not the end of her story. That small spark of determination began to grow into a steady flame. Lisa knew that staying in that environment would only destroy what was left of her spirit. She needed to make a change, a big one. The first step was the hardest, believing that she could do it on her own. She started by looking for a small glimmer of hope, a new path forward. She began spending her evenings not in sorrow, but in action. She updated her old resume, remembering the skills and talents she had pushed aside for so long. She started reading books about empowerment and spiritual growth, feeding her soul with words of strength and encouragement. The journey was not easy. There were moments of doubt and fear that crept in, whispering that she was not strong enough, that she would fail. But Lisa held on to that newfound resolve. She started applying for jobs in a different city, a place where she could have a completely fresh start. Each application she sent was an act of rebellion against her current situation. It was a declaration that she was taking back control of her life. She found comfort in prayer and meditation, connecting with a higher power and asking for guidance and strength. This spiritual practice became her anchor, keeping her steady when the waves of uncertainty tried to pull her under. One afternoon, an email arrived that would change everything. It was a job offer, not just any job, but a position that she had only dreamed of, in a city buzzing with new possibilities. It was a management role in a company that valued her experience. Reading the offer, Lisa felt a surge of joy and validation she had not felt in years. It was a sign from the universe, a clear message that she was on the right path. For the first time, she saw a future that she was building for herself, a future filled with promise and independence. The fear was still there, but now it was overshadowed by an even greater feeling, hope. Telling Mark was one of the most difficult conversations of her life. He was shocked, perhaps even a little confused. He had grown so comfortable with her quiet suffering that he never imagined she would find the strength to leave. But Lisa stood tall, her voice clear and steady. She explained that she needed to do this for herself, to find her own happiness and rebuild her self-worth. It was not an act of revenge, but an act of self-love. Packing her bags was both heartbreaking and liberating. With each item she placed in a box, she felt like she was shedding a layer of her old, painful life, making room for a new, stronger version of herself to emerge. Arriving in the new city was like taking her first deep breath after being underwater for too long. The city was vibrant and full of energy, and Lisa felt that energy seep into her own soul. Her new apartment, though simple, was her sanctuary. It was a space that was entirely her own, filled with peace and the promise of a new chapter. She decorated it with things that made her happy: bright colors, plants, and pictures of places she dreamed of visiting. Every morning, she would wake up and feel a sense of gratitude for this new beginning, for the chance to redefine her life on her own terms. It was a powerful feeling. Her new job was challenging, but in the best way possible. It pushed her to learn and grow, and her colleagues respected her ideas and her leadership. For the first time in a long time, she felt seen and valued for her mind and her abilities. She poured her energy into her work, finding a sense of purpose and accomplishment that had been missing from her life. Her confidence soared with each project she successfully completed. She was no longer just Mark's wife. She was Lisa, a capable and respected professional. This financial independence was more than just a paycheck. It was freedom. It was the power to make her own choices. Beyond her career, Lisa focused on healing her heart and nurturing her spirit. She joined a yoga class, where she learned to connect her mind and body, finding peace in the quiet movements. She volunteered at a local community center, helping others and finding joy in giving back. She made new friends, people who celebrated her successes and supported her without judgment. These new relationships were built on a foundation of mutual respect and kindness. She was building a community, a support system that filled her life with laughter and genuine connection. She was discovering that happiness was not something someone else could give you. It was something you had to create for yourself. As months turned into a year, Lisa transformed. The woman who once felt invisible now radiated strength and self-assurance. She learned to love herself again, not in a loud or boastful way, but with a quiet, deep acceptance. She understood that her worth was not tied to a man or a marriage, but came from within. Her spiritual journey had taught her forgiveness, not for him, but for herself, for allowing herself to feel so small for so long. She was whole again, not because someone had fixed her, but because she had bravely and patiently pieced herself back together, creating a beautiful mosaic from the broken pieces. One day, Mark called. His voice on the phone was different. It was quiet, humbled, and filled with a remorse Lisa had never heard before. He told her that the silence in their old home was a constant reminder of what he had lost. He said that living without her had forced him to look at himself, and he did not like the man he saw. He admitted his mistakes, his disrespect, and the deep pain he had caused her. He asked if he could see her, not to ask her to come back, but just to talk, to apologize in person for everything he had done. It was a call Lisa never expected to receive. Lisa agreed to meet him, but on her own terms, in a neutral public place. When she saw him, she saw a man who had been broken by his own choices. He looked tired and lost. He did not make excuses for his behavior. Instead, he spoke about his own insecurities and the emptiness he had tried to fill by seeking attention from others. He told her he had started going to therapy and was beginning a spiritual journey of his own, trying to understand how to become a better man. He was finally taking responsibility for his actions, and for the man he had become over the years. In that moment, Lisa felt not anger, but a sense of grace. Her own journey of healing had opened her heart to compassion. She saw a man who was genuinely trying to change, to heal his own brokenness. She listened, and she knew he was being sincere. After he finished, he simply asked if there was any hope for them. Lisa took a deep breath, feeling the strength she had built within herself. She told him that the woman he knew before was gone. She was stronger now, and she would never again accept a life of disrespect. She would never go back to the way things were. But then, she offered him a glimmer of hope. She told him that she believed in the power of change and the possibility of redemption. She was willing to give him a second chance, but it was not a simple yes. It came with a very important condition. He had to continue his journey of personal and spiritual growth. He had to prove, through his actions over time, that he was truly committed to becoming a man of integrity, respect, and kindness. The door was not closed, but he had to be the one to walk through it, transformed. It was a choice that came from a place of strength, not desperation, a testament to her incredible journey from heartbreak to triumph.